Hey, welcome back. Eric Arnold here. It is Friday, the 5th of March. I think that's right. Well, we're on the fly here. Got a little time to kill. When you have elderly parents, you become a cab driver. So, sitting here waiting for my mother to get her hair cut. Then I shall take her home. So in the interim, let's talk MLB strike. I had done a video on this earlier this week, but I didn't like it, and I had coupled it with the Ukraine war, and it just didn't feel right. In other words, let's talk, mayhem and death and serious things, and then MLB. It just the two didn't really go together. So let's just talk MLB in this episode. So you MLB fans, of course, you know that the lockout is ongoing, and I guess now at a impasse, despite what Rob Manfred says. I don't want to say we've made our last best offer. See, apparently that has legal ramifications if they use those words, which then will allow the Players Association to take certain legal steps. So he has to be careful about what magic words he uses. But this was all predetermined. The owners wanted this to happen. I'll let you in on a secret. Someone I know has season tickets to an MLB team. Was it Monday? Monday, 5 o'clock. That's when Manfred's phony baloney deadline occurred. And he rushed right out to the microphones to say they were at an impasse and declare that the first 6 or 7 games of the season were canceled. Well, this person notified me, said, I got an email from my team within 2 hours of that press conference saying, yep, these games are canceled, and how would you like your money back? In other words, you have to push some buttons if you want us to credit your credit card. Otherwise, we just keep the money and give you a credit for future games in 2023 or single ticket games in 2022 if you would like. So there's no way you could put that together in 2 hours. That was all predetermined. It was all ready to roll. They knew they were going to not have a deal. They didn't expect the Players Association to accept their terms. I don't think they wanted them to. This has been going on for a long time. It's just no one will take an L here. I blame the Players Association, and I'm going to come back to that point. But my main culprit are the players, and I'll tell you why. The owners are scumbags. I don't think there's any question about it. They have all the leverage. They're a homogeneous group of 30 billionaires, all with the same motivations to make as much money as they can. These are hardcore businessmen. You don't rise to their level of wealth without being hardcore businessmen that run over their mothers to make an extra $3. I'm sure there might be a Mother Teresa or two in the group. I'm painting with a broad brush, but I think for the most part, they're all scumbags, pretty much. And these guys aren't going to change. They're not going to suddenly think of the fans. They don't give a god damn about the fans. This is why I'm laying it on the players. It's like, you're the ones that play the game. You're the ones that care about the game. These owners, some of these guys, I don't think have ever picked up a baseball bat. So it's up to the players to think of the future of the game, the popularity of the game. When I say the popularity of the game, that means you actually got to kind of think of the fans, the customers. You're the ones, a lot of players are after their playing career is over, they stay in the game. They become broadcasters, or they become scouts, or get into management, God forbid, where they actually work for the team. I'm sitting on a city street here, and some vehicles are louder than others. So where was I? So, the owners, they're not the caretakers of the game. The players are. So, you're making a lot of money here, players. You are. You really are. And is the world really going to end if you guys just accept the owner's offer? You're going to be tarred as losers. The media is going to say the owners rolled you. You lost. Who cares? Who cares? You're still making a ton of money, an absolute ton of money. You got the owners to concede a little bit on some of these points. Who gives a damn if you, quote, lost? It's up to you guys. It's totally up to you. It's all within your power. You guys have an opportunity here to be heroes, and end this thing. We could still save the whole season. Everyone knows that's a phony deadline, that we could get ready in 2-3 weeks and be ready for opening day. Everyone knows that. All you guys need to do, the guys who've got to find their balls here are the rank and file. That fifth relief pitcher, that second DH, the 33-year-old middle infielder, who's maybe the fifth guy off the bench. These are the guys that got to find their balls, because they're the ones that are getting hurt the most by not playing. Some of these guys are going to be out of baseball. They'll be out of baseball when this thing ends. I fear this thing is going to drag on if the players don't step up and be heroes now. Now, do I realistically expect them to do that? Hey, it's never too late to do the right thing. I don't expect them to do it. Hell no. I just, going by history. These players, they think they're doing the right thing. You're not doing the right thing. You're not doing the right thing at all. I read it was on ESPN's website Monday. It's probably still there somewhere. If you want to find it, look up an oral history, like Oral Roberts, subscriber X, oral history of the 1994 strike. And it was, I believe, done by Tim Kirchin of ESPN, where he transcribed a number of interviews done in 2019 with a number of the proponents, the people involved in the 94 strike. He interviewed Bud Selig, commissioner at the time. He interviewed Tom Glavine, one of the, obviously, pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. He was one of the main player reps. Gene Orza, he was the number 2 labor lawyer for the Players Association. Number 1 was Don Fear. He, for whatever reason, wasn't interviewed. J.P. Santangelo, I believe he's a player. He was one of the players. I guess he was not in the Players Association at the time, and was asked to be a replacement player, and he chose not to. And then he ended up playing in the major leagues anyway after that. What struck me about those interviews, each side to this day still thinks that they did the right thing by wiping out the 94 season, wiping out the World Series, arguably killing baseball in Montreal. One of the worst things baseball's ever done. I think you have to say the worst thing baseball's ever done was keeping the African American players from playing for 80 years. That would be the worst thing they've ever done. This has got to be up there, though. And both sides to this day think it was a necessary thing they did. It's insane. I mean, the fools running this game are so stupid. They cannot see 2 feet in front of their face. It's like baseball's a dying sport, and the people running it are a large reason why. And then the players, same deal. It's like these are guys that can't do basic things. They can't bunt. They can't hit the other way. They can't hit against the shift. I think today's players would be killed if they had to go up against players from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I don't think they could compete. They just don't have basic skills. They would be shocked throwing. They would say, oh my God, this guy's throwing so soft. Somebody like Bob Gibson, who probably didn't throw the ball harder than 94, 95 miles an hour, but he'd blow those guys away because he could throw strikes. I don't know. I leave it on the players. You guys have a chance to be heroes here. You really do. But, I don't expect you to. And I expect this to be a huge long strike or a lockout, what have you. I expect this to drag on to the 4th of July. As if anyone's going to give a damn about the season at that point. It's you guys are killing the sport. You're killing it. And you're too stupid or arrogant to see what you're doing it. Now let me go on to one other point here, just because I saw that ownership had made in their last offer, their best offer. They were going to hold the salary cap at $220 million for the next 3 years, which is stupid. It's ridiculous. It's like, Christ, you guys aren't even keeping up with the rate of inflation. I just paid over $4 a gallon for gas here yesterday. So you're not even keeping up with inflation, owners. You want to keep salaries static at $220 for each team as a cap. Well, that's just, it is what it is. It's a cheapskate offer. They've leaked it out now. Somebody, probably the Yankees or somebody, one of the big money teams probably, that wants to get a deal and is trying to put the pressure on the cheapskate owners. 4 owners said, well, we're not even going to vote for this. This is terrible. What a bad offer. I mean, in other words, you're going to keep the cap the same for the first 3 years, and then you're going to raise it. That was the owner's offer. It's only a 5-year deal. So it was like 220, 220, 220. Then it would be like 225 and then 230. I'm going off the top of my head. I don't totally remember. So they were going to raise it just that much. That's what the owners proposed. They were going to raise it just that much. And 4 of these pricks said we won't vote for that. So that's like, what we're dealing with here. You have these owners that are so poor, they're so, poor, that's the wrong word, disgusting, cheap. So today I just saw come over the phone that somebody, Steinbrenner's, John Henry with the Red Sox, somebody outed these guys and said, here are the 4 guys that won't agree to any kind of increase. It was Castellini of the Reds. God, if I was a Reds fan, I'd just hang myself with piano wire. I mean, what a terrible thing to have to bear. What a cross to bear. My God. Then there was Ilyich of the Tigers. The third one. Oh, Marino. Artie Marino of the Angels. And then last was Ken Kendrick of the Diamondbacks. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about something that probably nobody in the whole world is talking about. Ken Kendrick of the Diamondbacks. The only reason I'm saying I want to talk about this guy, I thought, who are these owners? Who are these damn guys? You don't know these guys, but they're taking the game we love and ruining it. Maybe we should know who these pricks are. So last night I just thought, well, let's just see what the internet has to offer. Let's see what I can find out about these people. So I started with, in no particular order, I started alphabetically. Arizona, A. Ken Kendrick. Born in 1943, he's 78 years old, owns or is the majority owner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was been with the team since its inception. He was a minority owner when the team was formed in the mid-90s. He brought in some extra partners around 2004 to buy out Jerry Colangelo, who was the majority partner initially. He was the majority owner initially. Apparently what happened was Colangelo had freely spent in the inception days of the team and the early aught decade. And you know what? They won a World Series, one of the most exciting World Series in the history of baseball. However, to hear Kendrick tell it, that had left them deeply in debt, that they had agreed to pay a lot of money to a lot of players that they didn't exactly have, so now they're in debt. So to get out of the debt, he bought out Colangelo and slashed expenses, and meaning player salaries. So then after the World Series in 2001, Arizona rapidly became a lower spending team to pay off this debt from the World Series. So Kendrick has owned the team since 2004. So who is this guy? Well, he is from West Virginia, believe it or not. Was a upper middle class person from West Virginia. His father owned a gas station, owned a clothing store in Princeton, West Virginia. I don't know anyone's rich in Princeton, West Virginia, so we'll call him middle to upper class. Apparently, he had enough money to send him to West Virginia, WVU. So he got his degree in the mid-'60s from WVU, went to work at IBM, kind of fell backwards into the early days of computers, basically created his own company, software company, as Kendrick tells it in an interview. He's so old that they didn't even use the word software back then. So he's kind of like a precursor to Mark Cuban, if you will. Made a lot of money in software before they even knew what software was. So he made a lot of money in computers. Sold his company in the late 80s to General Motors for about $500 million. So now he's set. $500 million in the late 80s, that's a lot of money. Moved to Arizona, as he says. The first time he went to Phoenix was for the national championship game between Notre Dame and WVU. All right, quick question. Who's the star player on that 88 or 89 WVU team? That's right, Major Harris. So that's the first time this guy goes to Phoenix. He falls in love with the place, decides he wants to move out there. Turns out his neighbor is Jerry Colangelo. Colangelo talks him in to become a minority partner in this new fangled baseball team they're going to be setting up called the Diamondbacks. So, he's a minority partner, and then I told you he brought in some other people and bought out Colangelo around 2004. Seems like depending on who you look, which interview you see, or which newspaper article you read, what a nice guy. He's very generous. Apparently, the Diamondbacks and what other charities they've set up have donated 75, maybe $100 million to Phoenix area charities over the years. Very impressive. The man donates money to politics. He, his wife, his family, they've donated upwards of $5 million, maybe more, almost all to Republican candidates. Although I will note that he donated nothing to Donald Trump. And the fact that Joe Biden's wrecking this country. This guy did nothing about that. But he donates $5 million over his tenure, as far as the records go back, about 20 years. $5 million to Republican candidates. Here, let's give you some negative things about this guy. Or maybe not such negative, but I don't know this is a negative. It's just a thing, The guy lives in a modest $3.3 million house, 8,500 square foot. He has one of the most expensive baseball card collections in the world, including the T206 Honus Wagner card that I think I read he paid $2.8 million for it. I just saw that it's valued today at, someone just paid $6.6 million for one. So what a smart purchase by this guy. His baseball card collection apparently has 16 of the the top 20 most valuable cards. He has 16 of them. So probably that makes his collection the most impressive in the world, if you will. What else do we know about this guy? Well, here is some negative things. The Diamondbacks have sucked pretty much for his whole tenure. They made, I think, the NLDS. We're in the Reading. Yep. I'll probably get a YouTube copyright infringement because this song is playing, and I don't even know what it is. I would say it's Latino music. That's a good guess. All right, where were we? Back to Kendrick. So he pretty much sucked for his entire tenure. They won 52 games last year. He had one of the lowest payrolls in the league. He's sued. Let's see, he's in the midst of suing the city? No, he did sue the city. In the mid-teen decade, he was suing the city because he wants a new stadium. Chase Field is like 25 years old and it's already obsolete. Give me a goddamn break. But, like all owners, I guess, he wants the taxpayers to pick up the tab for renovations, new luxury boxes, new bells and whistles, a new scoreboard. What the hell? You want the taxpayers to pay for that? But, why should he pay for it, Mr. Baseball Card, when he can get the taxpayers to pay for it? So he's sued the county, Maricopa County, trying to force them to pay more towards his team and their stadium. He is sued, he's being sued by his minority partners. He's trying to force some of he's got some real small minority partners, guys that own less than 1% of the team. Well, he's decided he wants these guys out, so he's trying to force them to put more money in the team. Well, why should they? But that's what he's trying to force them to do, so he's made them sue him to stop him from forcing them out. To me, if you're in a courtroom with your business partners, it kind of means you're a prick. It's like you couldn't have worked this out without going to court, but you're a rich guy, right? And so you just call your lawyer and force your less powerful business partners to settle, right? That's just a typical billionaire hardball business tactic. So my overall assessment of this guy, prick, scumbag. I don't give a fuck that you gave $75 million to charity. You're running your baseball team into the ground. It's just a profit-generating venue for you. You don't care if you win or not. If you're not rich enough to hang with the big dogs like the Dodgers, then sell the damn team. The team is worth right now, according to Forbes, $1.3 billion. This guy probably has $300 to $400 million into it. So, and then there's not telling how many minority partners he has. He has over 51% of control. We know this. I'm going to guess he probably owns 60-70% of the team. He has at least 2 other minority partners that are listed on MLB's website, whose names escape me. They're unimportant. So the guy probably stands to make another $500 million if he'd sell the team, but he doesn't want to, of course, because it's making him money. It's making him money. He makes money just by putting the team on the field with the revenue sharing that he gets from the TV contract and the teams that violate the salary cap. That's one of the reasons why these cheapskates don't want the salary cap raised. They never get near it, but the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Red Sox, they do. So he gets a cut of that money every time they go over the salary cap. He gets paid. Well, he doesn't want the thing raised. That takes money out of his pocket. So, of course he doesn't want the damn thing raised. So, Ken Kendrick, you suck. You just suck. Well, sell the team. I mean, you just sell the team. Go do something else. Put your money in a mutual fund or something. Or whatever else you do. But you're hurting the game of baseball. You definitely are. So you definitely don't belong. But, hey, I guess we can't get rid of you. The only people that could get rid of you is if the other owners ganged up on you and forced you to sell. But what are the chances of that? 0. So we shame you, Ken Kendrick. You suck. Now, back to my original point. The Ken Kendricks of the world are never going to change MLBPA. You didn't just learn this yesterday. You just didn't learn this today. You've known this. You know this. You've always known this. They're never going to change. They're always going to lowball you, cheapskate you, pay you as little as possible. That's what they do. It's just like the frog and the scorpion. Of course, you've heard that. The frog and the scorpion are standing on the side of the lake. They don't know how to get across the lake. They got to get across the lake because there's a big fire behind them. So the frog says, well, I can swim across. Being the nice guy the frog is, he says to the scorpion, I'll take you across if you'd like, but don't sting me. If you sting me, I'll drown and you'll drown too, and we'll both die. Okay, says the scorpion. So across the lake they go. They get halfway across the lake, and bam! The scorpion stings the frog with his poisonous barb. And as the frog is dying, going down into the water, the frog goes, why did you do that? And the scorpion goes, it's my nature. It's my nature to be a scumbag. And so they're never going to change, Players Association. You can't break them. It's up to you to be the heroes here and take their shitty offer. You've got to do it. It's the only chance to save the game. It's up to you. You guys, you rank and file players, got to find your balls and do the right thing. So that's all I got on the MLB strike. We'll talk again. I don't know what our video schedule's going to be. We can't very well handicap games that don't exist. So I guess we're going to, we'll have some on the NCAA tournament. That's coming up here in the next week or so. After that, well, I don't know. Maybe that'll be a good way to just kill off this channel with an MLB strike. I don't know dick about, as far as handicapping goes, the NBA, nor do I really want to. That'll be the only NHL, too. Maybe I'll have Pittsburgh Louie make NHL picks for you or something. I don't know. So, yeah, going forward, we're kind of up in the air here. Subscriber X still thinks that there's going to be a deal. He thinks there's going to be a deal soon because the players are not getting paid. I honestly don't know what color the sky is in Subscriber X's world. I'm hesitant to even want to visit there. It sounds like it's a pretty scary and odd place if he thinks this is going to be a short strike. This is going to drag on forever. Both sides just are stupid, arrogant, and hate each other so much that it's just, you might expect the Palestinians to, live with the Israelis before these two make peace. So, and we're the ones that are going to take it in the teeth. So, what can you do? I guess at some point I'll get really angry and have a feudal rant where I'll really go crazy, and then I feel better for about 5 seconds, and then I'll just, but good, great, Eric Arnold signing off.